Those of us who follow Big Ten football as I do, and we saw just how many problems they had just getting games played. They had issues with COVID. They had other teams that had issues with COVID. They only got to play 5 regular season games. How have you seen this journey for this team that will result in a championship game appearance on Monday night?
Man, it's been tough for them. I think if they pull this feat off and find a way to beat Alabama on Monday night, it will be one of the greatest teams, in my opinion, to ever have played at Ohio State because of the adversity they had to go through. Their biggest defender, their biggest team they had to fight or challenge was fighting COVID, obviously, and it was like that for most of college football, most of all sports, and just the fact that they couldn't have regular meetings and a regular schedule, not knowing if they were going to play week to week, really moment to moment, and who was going to be there. You have somebody there on a Friday at a walkthrough, and they're not there on game day. So it was really tough for them to have any type of continuity, any type of rhythm, any way to build success throughout the course of a year, because you really don't know who your team is until they go through duress, until they fight through adversity. And they really didn't know who they were going into this game. They really focused on Clemson. I think going back to last year when they lost 29-23, that was all plastered across their billboards and the walls and in the facility, and that was their number one goal. So it's amazing that they were able to pull this feat off, given their lack of continuity and really the ups and downs of the season due to COVID.
Eddie George is with me on ESPN Radio. A lot of us made a very big deal of Dabo Swinney ranking them 11th before that game. How big a deal do you think it was to them?
You know what? I think going into that game, they were already motivated. I think they were really focused on Clemson the entire year. I think that added little bit was a cherry on top. It says, okay, enough is enough. We have got to exercise this demon of Clemson. Our school has never beaten Clemson prior to that bowl game last week, and it was a lot on their chest. I mean, they really fought last year, and they felt like they outplayed Clemson in the meeting they played them the first time or last year, and certainly this time was added motivation. So I don't think they really looked at that was the tipping point. I think it was like, okay, enough is enough. We're tired of the disrespect. No one in the country respects us, and certainly Dabo's comments kind of rubbed them the wrong way.
Eddie George is with me. And Eddie, I know that you're hopelessly biased on this. I don't expect you not to be. But in the first mock draft that we got on ESPN today, they rank Justin Fields as a mid-first round prospect, actually the third quarterback off the board. I watch all this Big Ten football. I love him, but I don't analyze this stuff for a living the way a lot of other people do. So as best as you can objectively, give me the scouting report on Justin Fields at the next level.
I think at this point in time, his upside is tremendous. When you break him down right now, I think it's almost kind of fair to say that at this point he can go in mid-first round, based on the fact that he may hold the ball a little too long for the liking of some coaches. But I think he can be coached out of that. He looked absolutely magnificent, outplayed Trevor Lawrence, who was expected to be the first pick overall in the draft. Mm-hmm. I mean, he throws a great deep ball. He's tough. You saw his toughness, taking a hit, continuing to play through the game, his leadership capability. And listen, I'm one that I don't give a damn where you start in the NFL. It's how you finish. I mean, look at Russell Wilson. Look at Tom Brady. I mean, just to name a few guys that have gone later than we anticipated and is having and has had a Hall of Fame career. So Justin Fields going in the mid round, I guess you can nitpick and say, well, is he undersized? He holds the ball too long. He has a weird throwing motion and all of that. They're going to dock you down. But whoever gets Justin Fields is going to get a phenomenal football player, a student of the game, and he has tremendous upside. So I think Justin's going to be fine on the next level if and when he chooses to go.
Let me ask you one last question. This is going to be the toughest one of all. So this is going to require some honesty. I'm watching Ohio State and Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. And I'm a Northwestern alum, as I think you know. And Trey Sermon is running through us like crazy in the second half. He basically beat us all by himself. So I'm devastated watching this. But all they're talking about on TV is he's approaching Eddie George's single-game rushing record. He's approaching Eddie George's single-game rushing record. While you're watching that happen, are you rooting for the kid to break the record, or are you thinking, why don't we give it to somebody else here because it's nice having the Ohio State single-game rushing record? Which thought is in your head?
I'll say this, Greeny. I was on the plane watching it, and I was in Philadelphia visiting my family, my mom, my father, and I'm headed back to Nashville. So I had my eye on the game here and there, and kept getting these text messages while I was in line to go on the plane about, oh, this guy's about to break your record. And I'm like, well, last time I checked, he wasn't anywhere near it. So let me see what's going on. So I look, and I'm like, okay, he's got, 3:03, something like that, going into the last drive. And Northwestern was driving the football. So I'm like, okay, all they need is to get a couple first downs. I'm pretty sure they get the first down, they'll kneel on the ball. Ryan Day, there's no need to run up the score. But lo and behold, they give this guy the ball. He breaks the record. And I'm like, oh, man, another record is gone. I had to witness J.K. Dobbins break my single-season rushing record for the school last year in the bowl game against Clemson. And now Trey Sermon, out of nowhere, has this monster game. But honestly, I'm really happy for him. Records are made to be broken, and I get it. And the fact that he was able to rush for 331 yards, really find his game, struggled for most of the season coming off of an injury, transfer from Oklahoma, really trying to find his rhythm, has really become a focal point and a key factor in the offense now, means a lot to me. So if he did it breaking my record, more than willing. 25 years is a hell of a run.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.